Hello, this is LordUg. Yes it is, and welcome to another Darkest Dungeon class guide. So this is on my my darkest estate, and we're going to cover the Highwayman today. So usually, I admit I actually do usually plan out what I want to say, but I've been very busy and I've grabbed an hour to do some recording. And so I haven't had time to plan anything. So I'm just going to have to make it up as I go along. I know it's very unprofessional, but when have I ever been professional? I've never been professional, so I guess it doesn't matter. So all this is just winging it. So little disclaimer though. Remember, this is how I prefer to play it. If you prefer to play a completely different way, please don't tell me, yes, but you missed this. You didn't say this. You didn't say that. No, that doesn't matter. This is my guide. This is my guide for how I like to play all these classes. If you don't like to play them that way, that's fine. No, you're not wrong. I'm not wrong. You're not wrong. You know, there are ways to play. There's many different ways to play the classes. There's different trinkets you'll use. There's different ways you'll partner them up with the characters. It's all up to you. If you don't like the way I do it, fine. Buy the game if you haven't got it. Start it yourself and find your own way. If you already have the game, carry on playing it your way. But please don't put in the comments that I'm wrong, or I haven't said this, or there's this, because this is how I play it. That's it, okay? Just so we know. This is just for people who want to play it like me, or try it like me, then this is how I do it, okay? Right, so let's begin. So, this is the Highwayman. It's a very versatile class because he's got melee skills and range skills. So I know most of them have, but he's actually a pretty decent across the board. Some could do a lot more damage than others, of course, but he is pretty versatile in where he goes, and also he can play different slots. I mean, it's good in you can have him in one, but I find him more decent in 2 or 3, preferably 2, because I usually find that 2 is a no man's land for most characters, for most classes. You usually can find somebody strong to put in 1, 3 and 4, and I usually find 2 a little bit barren, and so I like to put him in because he's strong, pretty decent anyway. He's mobile because he's got skills that do move him. I mean, if you wanted, you could easily, if you have these 2 on, then here you can go forward and back with these. Point blank shot will take you back, and then duelist advance will actually move you forward again. So you can actually use that if you wish, and then it's quite mobile. Of course, if he gets pushed back by one of the mobs, you can always bring him forward again by using Duelist Advance to bring him forward. And that Duelist Advance does actually activate Riposte, which is good. It also pairs well with, I think, with characters like that have a skill themselves that can move them 1 step forward, like Hellion Man-at-Arms. Because like you could be in slot 2, and then you could use Duelist Advance to activate your Riposte and go to slot 1. And say you've got the Man-at-Arms, he can then use his Rampart to move back to slot, to slot 1 and stun something, and move back to slot 1 himself and put your Highwayman back in slot 2. So it's good if you've got, and the Hellion's got, I can't remember the Hellion's one now, but it's like slots 1, 2 and 3 all at the same time, but moves her forward a slot. So you could do the same basically with her. You could start in slot 2, move to slot 1 using Duelist Advance, and then she uses her skill to go back to slot, to slot 1 herself and do damage to all 3. And then the thing is, you're back in slot 2, but now you've got your Riposte active, which is a good thing. So, if you imagine it, I prefer Man-at-Arms more than anything, because you can take slot 1. You can go to from slot 2 to slot 1 with Duelist Advance. Then he can use his Rampart to move to slot 1 as well. And then next time round he can use his Retribution, and that activates the Man-at-Arms Riposte then. So basically then your men in slot 1 and 2 both have riposte active all the time, because it like lasts for 3 rounds, so as it's running out you can always do that little dance again and get it reactivated. And the thing is that it'll activate no matter what. So you imagine if something like the Madman, who can do his accusation over all your men, if he casts that out and hits the Highwayman and Man-at-Arms, he's going to get 2 lots of attack, because they will both, it'll trigger the riposte of both of them, so he'll get hit twice. So, and that happens any time anything attacks 1 and 2. Like the Fusilier, he's got a blanket shot that can do all 4, and he'll get hit twice from the riposte. So I find him and Man-at-Arms really good together, because they can both have this kind of dance to go around each other and keep riposte active on each other. So that's decent. So we'll go into the skills anyway, because I think that there's not really much to say. He is just a very mobile character. His base stats is equal to, say, something like the Bounty Hunter. Starts on something like 5 to 10, then goes to 6 to 12. I think it's 7 to 13 next, something like that, or 7 to 12, 7 to 13. But he's still pretty similar. So this is my preferred setup for skills. This is what I like to use personally. Mainly because you've got this Wicked Slice, which is just a straight up melee skill, you know, does damage, crits, things like that. And then you've got one here called Open Vein, which is basically, if you look at the slots, you've got to be in slot 1, 2 or 3 to use this, and it'll hit slots 1 or 2. And if you look at this, you've got to be in slots 1, 2 or 3, it'll hit slots 1 or 2. So they're exactly the same. But the main differences are that if you don't need to bleed and you're just wanting to do damage, you want Wicked Slice. Because it's got the same accuracy base, both 90, but Wicked Slice has got a damage mod of 15, so that's plus 15%. So you get extra damage on top of whatever you are whatever you get when you've got all your base and then your trinkets, quirks and everything else adding damage on. You'll then get 15% more on top of that, whereas this is 15% less. So all them points again, but then it takes 15% off. So, you know, you're hitting with less, but you do bleed with this. And the reason I like to put the bleed on things is, like, if I've got a Plague Doctor or something like that with me that can wear things down with like 5 every round with Blight, if you can add your 2 or 3 on with bleed, then you can help bring things down pretty decently, like bosses. You know, if you want to bring down a boss quick, you know, working with something like a Plague Doctor or a Grave Robber or something like that, something that can have like that can put Blight on, that's going to take 5 or 6 a time or something like that off them. Even a Hellion can do like 4 a round with bleed, with her bleed, and then you can add your own on just to make it worse. So it does actually pair well with that too. But I do have that one because in case I want to bring down something and wear it down, because it might be quite high in health, and then that just for basically bashing things to death. Of course, I am going to have ranged because I want to hit the back row at times, and if I can get a shot in at back row, I mean, this is a minus 25% damage mod, but it's got a high crit which can make up for it. It's got a high crit with 11%, so that's decent. But it is what it is. You know, if like the stress dealers, let's say slots 3 or 4 are nearly dead, then just, you know, drop them a shot from this and it'll do it. I mean, you could use this point blank shot, but the problem with let me activate it. Problem with point blank shot is that it's basically can only be used in slot 1, and it only hits the mob in slot 1. So I kind of don't like that, because I don't like him as slot 1. I mean, you can make him a slot 1 build, but that means you're going to have to activate everything that hits from slot 1, which is them. There you go. They're the only 4. If you look at that one, slot 1's blanked out. Look at that one, slot 1's blacked out, and that one's blacked out. So only these 4 that we're on there, that I'm looking through now, have all got slot 1 active. So this is how to make him a slot 1 character. That I'm not bothered about. That doesn't do it for me. I'd rather have that build. I have this simply because, as I said, I do like him to be mobile. If he gets pushed around, he can always move back forward again by using this, and it does trigger his riposte, which is good. So you've got your bleed, and you've got your ranged if you need it, and then another attack. This, I'm not a big fan of anything that it's more than one slot, because it tends to do a lot of, it tends to bring your damage down a lot. I mean, if you look at the stats, it's got an 85% base, which is not brilliant. Its damage modifier is minus 60%. So whatever damage you do, it takes over half that damage off before it hits. And then at bottom, it's a minus 6% crit. So chance of critting with it is tiny. You're going to do low damage. It's basically, again, one of them things where if the enemy has got like, if say somebody in slot 3 has got like 2 hit points left, you might just shoot all 3 and just try and kill it. You know, that's about it. That one I've explained. I don't like it because you have to be in slot 1, and it only affects slot 1, so that's not really good. That one's decent. This one's decent, because what it does is it actually gives you a buff of 14% damage, which is good, plus 7% accuracy, plus 6% crit. So that would work well with this, because basically you're getting, you're getting a buff to your crit on top, and accuracy and everything else. So that's a pretty decent one if you want to bring that in. If you want to bring that in, I'd actually keep Riposte, and I'd probably drop this one off, because Riposte, if you use it, you can hit anything. You can hit 1, 2, 3, or 4 on their side. So if you want to attack the back row, just use a Duelist Advance. You can also use moving back again, though that's no problem. But use your Duelist Advance to hit the back row if you really need to. But this is decent if you want to give yourself a nice buff. But I'd still prefer that. Again, personal taste. So camping skills, you can have encourage active. Everybody does usually. Most of your classes do. It's a nice quick 15 stress off your men, off a companion, only one, but still, it's kind of a go-to camping skill. Wound care, yeah, same thing again. Usually you've got other things that can get rid of blight and bleeding and that, and 15% HP. It's not huge, but it's only for one companion again. You've got some that actually do it across the board, that'll cure everybody to some extent. So that's not a real big one, to be honest. Pep Talk, not bad. I haven't actually opened up the camping skills I really like on this one, but I'm just going through them quick. Pep Talk again is like encourage. It's one that everybody's got, and it just looks after your stress over 4 battles. It doesn't take any stress off you there and then at the camp. It just makes sure that any stress that you're given will be taken down by 15%. So again, it's one that just about everybody's got. I don't really care about it myself. Gallows Humor. This is a really good one. It'll take 25%, or it'll take 25 stress off the Highwayman. But then with your companions, there's a 75% chance that a man will lose, that one of your companions will lose 20 stress. And there's a 25% chance that it'll gain 10. Now, if you think about that, that is done over 4 people. 3 at 75, 1 at 25. Well, there's only 3 people because the Highwayman doesn't count in that. He's already lost his 25 stress. So it is actually possible, and I have actually seen this, where all your other 3 characters will lose 20 stress off them, and nobody will take the plus 10. I have seen it where they take plus 10, obviously, but I like to use Gallows Humor, and I've seen all 3 lose 20, and that is really nice. So that's a good one to have. If you want to make yourself stronger, this is a decent one. Unparalleled Unparalleled Finesse. It's good because it's for melee skills, and for me, I use mostly a melee build. I don't use merely any ranged, except just that one up there, just to pop it to back row if I need to. But all the rest are melee, so that actually fits me, because it gives you 10 to dodge, 2 to speed, and then it gives you 20% damage to melee skills, and 10 accuracy to melee skills. So it hits for 4 battles. You'll get all them things if you're using mostly melee, which is good. So if you really want to boost him, that's a good one. Again, if you're mostly ranged though, here's your ranged ones. You've got your this'll activate all your ranged skills. Your ranged skills being these. Oops. Oh, not you. There you go. They're your 4 ranged skills. So this one will make them stronger if you are in that kind of way. And then finally you've got the Bandit Sense, which is basically like 20% less chance you'll get surprised for 4 battles, a 20% chance that you will surprise the upcoming groups for enemy for 4 battles, but you also get a prevent to nighttime ambush while you're camping. So that's decent as well if you just want to make sure you're not going to get any any bad things happen that way. So oh no, I'll keep that one. Let me just put these back on. Now, trinkets wise, there's only 2 I'd mainly go for, and that is this one, the dodgy sheath, mainly because of what it says. It's got a dodge to it. I mean, its dodge right now is up to 23. That's pretty decent, and I've still got a spot left if I want to put something else in there. I could increase it more. It gets 2 to speed as well, which is also good, and it gets accuracy 6 to. It loses 6 accuracy to ranged. Well, I don't use ranged except there, but usually I just use melee. So the bad side of this one does not affect me. I just get the dodge and the speed, and it's great. Other trinkets, if you want another one that's class specific to him, the other one is sharpening sheath. That's a really good one because it gives him 4 crit, and it gives him also 40% onto his bleed chance, which is really good. And all it costs is 1 speed. So if you actually activate this, you get 2 speed for that. So then if you put the sharpening sheath in, you'll lose 1, but you'll not go into negative because this one gave you 2. So you're just basically using one of these up, and then you'll get the 4% crit and the 40% to your bleed chance, which affects this if you are using that. It makes that even more likely to hit. So that's a good thing to have. Otherwise, I sometimes like to use this because it puts speed up. If you look, it's called the quick draw charm, and it puts your speed up by 8 on the first round, and it puts your crit up by 5 on the first round. Yes, after that you're going to lose speed, you're going to lose 3. But you imagine, on the first round his speed's going to go up to 15, which basically means he will probably go first out of anything, and that gives him his chance to use his duelist advance and get his riposte active. So it's good for that, and then he'll still go down to 4 after, which is still a decent speed, but at least he'll have his riposte active for anybody else attacking. But that's just, again, personal thing. There's lots you can use. There's lots of these you can use that'll add to dodge or speed or whatever. I didn't mean to put that one in, but it doesn't really matter. You can add to dodge, speed, bleed, whatever you want to. It's all your choice. So but yeah, if you want class specific sharpening, put the sharpening sheath in that one, and you'll be good. Quirks, well, it depends what you're using. If you're using melee, then you want the usual ones: slugger, precise striker, things like that. Things that are going to add on accuracy, crit, damage, all that kind of stuff. And range, you want just the range ones, whatever the range ones. Just go with them. It depends how you play them. I cannot tell you the best quirks to have for your style. You just look through them, what you get. But so if you get a negative quirk that that affects ranged accuracy or range crit or range damage, whatever, if you use mostly melee, don't touch it, leave it. It won't hurt you. But of course, if it is going to hurt you, then get rid of it. But yeah, that's about it. There isn't much more I can tell you about him now. All I can say is that for a slot 2 character, it really is good. And if I put him with that Man at Arms, like I said, or like the Hellion or something like that, who can also move back to slot 1, who are slot 1 characters for me, and will actually move back to slot 1 after you've taken it by using Duelist Advance, and you can keep that flow going. It's not unnatural. Now, you're not using a specific turn up to move to slot 1 or 2. It's just kind of flowed with skills. Yeah, I think it's really good, and he works really well with them. I like him. I think the Highwayman's very versatile and very good to use, and hopefully this has helped in some way and might give you an idea on how to play him or something to try. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, remember, just give me a like or whatever, or drop a comment, tell me what you think, and I'll see you soon. You take care. Bye for now.